Hello all, and welcome to the fourth episode of Goopy Gossip. Today's episode we will be reviewing and talking about the mating manual. Now, for some of those of you who have been here on TikTok or have seen it on YouTube, the mating manual is a text manual that is supposed to go over the different species and cultures of Dark's world in Dark Sand Oasis Productions. That being said, there are many of those who think it is gooner material. Well, I can tell you right now, folks, anything can be gooner material if said person's goons to it. So, stop that. Anyway, a lot of people have stated that it is perverse or gooner material. It is not. It is strictly a textbook that goes over the different cultures and breeding practices of those cultures. For instance, it's essentially a health book manual that you would find in school. It just goes over different species, not just humans. And I mean, let's take it from a different angle. If a different species were to see humans, from a biological standpoint, would they not also want to, wonder how our species has survived or the practices of our species? Wanting to know if and how our species has survived as long as it has? Well, that's very much the mating manual. So, the mating manual, created by Dark, produced by Dark Sand Oasis Productions, or will be produced by Dark Sand Oasis Productions, goes over the multitude of different species in the world and their cultures, and how their cultures have survived and bred and continued thriving with difficulty or not. You look at some of the races and you go, I don't know how that has stuck around, but it gives you the basis of the species and how it survived, which is really good for story building. A lot of people think that, story building is all about, how the story starts, where the story ends, what characters are involved. But, I mean, let's take it from the example of J.R. Tolkien. Tolkien, deep dived hard into his own creation. He had lore upon lore for, different family lineages, how they got there, point A to point B before even The Hobbit began. And that's kind of what the mating manual is. The mating manual is kind of this is how the race came to be and where it comes from, its culture, and everything like that. And there's a lot of people out there, people I have even known, that are like, there's no real need for such detail if it's not going to, hold a key point in the plot. Well, I beg to differ. In fact, it's that deep detail that people in time, will look back and go, wow, I just now noticed that detail. That's actually really cool that they added that in. It's what takes the plot, what takes storytelling, and magnifies it. For instance, let's take it from a different aspect here. Let's say that the plot, the story, is an omelet. Well, there are plenty of chefs out there that can cook you up an omelet with just eggs, and it'd be the damn best omelet you've ever had. But if you were to add lore to it, you add spice. If you add substance, like the mating manual, you add more to the characters. There's so much more body to the lore that you didn't know about, that you're adding substance. You're adding different aspects to this omelet, different food to this omelet that's elevating it. And that's the point of the mating manual. Yes, I understand that the name also kind of the mating manual. I mean, I get it. It comes across as far more sexual than what it really is. But it is the manual that is going to be the referral point to go back on and go, this, like the kitsune. Let's go over the kitsune culture. Oh, okay. That's the lore I needed. It's going to go over the different species that we don't have a whole lot of lore on. And some species, it goes a little bit too much on dragons. But it's important. It's not that it's too much lore. It is important lore. And I'm glad that I've subscribed to be able to see the lore of the mating manual itself be built the way that it is. Because it shows that it's not just looking for the right word here that doesn't start with a P and end with orn. It's nothing like that. Like, it is strictly biological and scientific, and that's the cool part about it. It's giving you the knowledge that you need to further yourself in this world. And let's say you become a diamond subscriber and you want to build a character, but you're kind of like, oh, how does that character going to work in this world? The mating manual itself, when it gets finished, when it goes over certain species, if there's a species you want to play, it gives you the lore that you need, the knowledge to know how that species acts. Now, the downside to the mating manual, as Dark has been creating it, we have found that it's big. So, the mating manual goes over a lot, and there's a lot of species to go over. So, there has been talks that the mating manual might get cut in half with a Volume 1 and a Volume 2 because of how many species there are. And there's also been talks about another mating manual down the line because there are going to be more species. In fact, one of the subscribers, his name is Hush, created the Sunwalkers. And that's an entirely new species that came into existence in the lore. But technically, according to the lore, the species has been there for a while. And the Sunwalkers are this really nifty, cool species that got brought in. And as such, now we got to know more about them. So they might get added to the mating manual down the line. Maybe not this volume, but down the line, probably another volume. There's another race called the Mana Hares that were also made by Lady Simp and Shiva. And that's another race that's not in this mating manual, but it's another species that people can learn about, that you have an involvement now with the lore. And that's the really cool part about the mating manual, is it's going to grow in volumes as more Diamond subscribers come along, as more people put their species into the lore and add to the flavor of this world. And it's really cool that you're going to have a manual that you can refer to for those different species, for those different races, to know how their cultures work, to know how they are around other cultures. And it's a really cool manual. That's its whole purpose. It is a mating manual. It is a manual of how to view the species in Dark's world, how they interact with each other, and how, moving forward, you can almost see where characters in the story are coming from. So, yeah. I'm looking forward to it finally being produced when it finally gets to that point. And I'm looking forward to more versions coming out later on in the future. And who knows, maybe down the line you might even see a Deja wind up in the mating manual. I doubt it. But you never know. But yeah, that's the mating manual. So I hope this kind of filled you in on how it's not goonery and the importance that it is to Dark's world and the world building itself. I'll see you guys in the next episode.